Okay, so I just figured out that this microphone actually has a clip on it. So that's I got to look further into the box next time. This Maple Leafs team is gonna make me lose my mind. Anyway, y'all, welcome back to the AJ Plays channel, and today I got another video for y'all, and this is going to be basically what I'm calling, it was initially 5, but these are now my 6 biggest stories from the 2025 MLW season, and overall, like, things that have played major factors into this season and what could possibly be trickling into next season, like some things that have emerged from different teams or from the league as a whole. So we're not going to waste any more time with the intro. Let's get right into the video. All right, so to kick things off with number 1, we got the Cobras' new chapter, because halfway through the season, Drew Davis ended up trading himself, in a sense, traded himself as well as Justin Esch to the Pacific Predators for pretty much just a future draft pick when you look at it like that. Just because, is Stephen McGlade going to play in 2026? We really don't know. There's a new wiffle ball-based mind at the helm, not really going to be drafting former like collegiate baseball players, which, I mean, both Kwiatkowski and Justin Esch have really translated into good MLW hitters, but you need strong wiffle ball players in a wiffle ball league to really compete and really make a difference and impact the team in a very positive way. And you can't be throwing Drew Davis out there as a pitcher in games anymore. Like, I'm sorry, that was an automatic loss like every single game for the Coastal Cobras. It just was not that good. So when all said and done, it's a new wiffle mind at the helm with much better ideologies, strategies, all that. Okay, and next up, this is what I think is MLW's newest super team. Okay, we can say what we want about Jimmy Norp and the Diamondbacks, and this is assuming Norp, Sailor, and everybody else is staying. Pair that with Pishka and Sullivan and everybody else. Like, it's crazy how loaded they are. Even even the Mallards. The Mallards have just won a World Series with Jorgensen, Robles, Colm, and now they even have the number 2 pick in next year's draft. How did that happen? I really have no idea. But if you want to talk about a super team based on established stars that we know will return next year with budding stars and all of that, you got to look at the Pacific Predators. This is like a consistent. You got Ryan Kratz, the greatest MLW player in this era. Young studs like Evan Porter and Levi Fleer on both sides of the ball there. They have the potential to be elite. Justin Esch, Drew Davis, Alec Warda, Brendan Russell, the depth, the amount of players these guys have that can step up and have clutch moments, clutch hits, clutch homers. There's so much potential with this team, and a full year of Drew Davis and Justin Esch on this Preds team next year might take the league by storm, and they can... Personally, I'd have them as my World Series favorite with a full year of that group. The expectations for them should be sky high for 2026. I don't really see a way they regress, honestly, and Ryan Kratz is so good. He's so good at the sport that I doubt in any way, shape, or form the guy is possibly going to regress. Okay, for this graphic, I literally titled it Have It Your Way. But anyway, the emergence of Preston Colm in 2025 has been nothing short of phenomenal. This is a player who has been a pretty solid and underrated hitter, mind you. In 2024, he was really solid, finished with an OPS around like 1,300 or something. But this year, he not only maintained that, he elevated his game in the playoffs, and he was such a fantastic hitter. Very clutch and timely hits when the Mallards needed them in the World Series if they wanted to go ahead and beat the Great Lakes Gators. Like, without Colm, there's no way they win that series. I'm sorry, because every time there were runners on, every time you needed that big hit, PK found a way to deliver. When you look back at 2023, everybody was asking Tommy, what are you doing? You're trading away the pick that got you Grant Miller for a young, more unknown player, Preston Colm. But 3 years later on, when Grant Miller is on the verge of retirement because of the family he's got, PK is only like 17, 18 years old, and he really was the catalyst in that lineup that just got you a World Series victory. So when all is said and done, I honestly think the Mallards won that trade, and that's coming from a Magic fan. I do think long-term, the Mallards have won this trade. All right, on to the 4th biggest topic. Like, I gotta be honest, the future is now in MLW. The fountain of youth is hitting the league. Look at all the new talent coming in. On each team, you have young rising stars. Like, these teams are loaded with youth, left, right, and center. It's all these younger, like these teenage players that have a lot of years left in them in this league. And then you have another influx coming in. But it's not even on the field, the talent they're displaying there. Look at what has happened to the Pipe It Up podcast. But now, like, the main 2, you look at what Levi Fleer and Ty Frensnick are doing. Like, those are the new Pipe It Up co-hosts, pretty much. Like, that's a new, much younger wiffle mind. Like, that's 10 years younger pretty much than Coughlin and Agner when they were running that show. You see a lot of efforts being put in by all these other newer players. They contribute to the league in all sorts of ways. The fountain of youth is here. MLW is now being hit by a youth movement in a sense that's really contributing to both events on and off the field. It's fantastic to see all these guys emerging the way they are. It's safe to say the future is now in MLW. All right, next up, we have what I call We Love Chaos. So in 2025, MLW removed the AL and NL divisions, and that actually proved to be very impactful because when you look at how the playoffs ended up playing out and how all the teams were clinching, there were still 4 spots up for grabs with 6 games left to play in that final slate of the season. Only the Mallards and the Gators were the ones who actually clinched the playoff spots. After 8 years, everybody's now in the same pool of play. Everybody's now playing all the other teams rather than just AL and NL. And on that note, everybody's got 15 games where they got to be the best against each other. Comes down to a lot of really tight series, a lot of big games, a lot of big moments. And there are some tiebreakers that are somewhat questionable. Like the Magic did miss off a tiebreaker this year, but it's not the first time it's happened in this league. However, we have now seen a lot of the top 6 teams in the league that deserve it the most, understandably, are making the playoffs rather than a 5 and 10 team make it, with a 7 and 8 team missing in the other league because their league is more stacked than the one that the 5 and 10 team had qualified in. And a prime example would be the 2024 season. I'll literally put up that graphic right now so y'all can see how messed up it was. How did the Gators miss the playoffs, but both the Magic and Cobras ended up making it? Talent level has increased, so overall now the top 6 teams, the true top 6 teams, are the ones making the playoffs. Totally understandable. Great decision overall. It's really just made the video quality better, the series quality better. Every series now matters to each team. Every win is very crucial. And finally, what I'm calling bye-bye Bien. The ace just announced his shock retirement at the end of that 2025 World Series. Now, again, he said it's more related to issues with his arm. And he has mentioned before, I mentioned it a few weeks ago, he has mentioned that he has issues with his throwing arm and the speed limit in MLW. And it just makes his pitching somewhat ineffective. The most effective pitch he has is one of the most disgusting in the league, with that being his iconic drop ball. However, the point still stands that he decided he wants to focus more on the fast pitch whiffs compared to MLW as a whole. And he's giving now one last ride in 2026 with his team. And on that note, this is really a great time for the Gators to run it back in a still very competitive league, but they've shown that they have all the pieces. Dustin Staggs is a very young and a very talented piece to that team who's going to contribute to not only 2026, but the future. However, it's a shame to see such a spark plug like Sawyer Bien leave MLW, but it's going to be a very interesting last season in the league for the player. All these moves are going to have major impacts once again in MLW in 2026. Going to change the league a little bit as we know it. We're going to see more youthful players come in, the last ride for some players. New looks on teams such as the Cobras and the Preds for like a full year. It's going to be a very exciting year in 2026. And you know what? 2025, as great as it was, we always say it year in and year out. Next year is going to be much better for this league. On that note, guys, I want to thank y'all very much for watching this little video, running down some things that just some thoughts that I had regarding the 2025 season and the most impactful things. And I will see y'all next week. Thank y'all so much. Peace out.